Hello and welcome to Halcyon Blink. In this episode I'm going to be taking a look at a television series that seems to have at least in part influenced a lot of these superhero flicks that CW are releasing these days. The original Heroes series. Now just to take you back a little bit, before I had CW's The Flash as my obsessive televised superhero weekly episodic addiction, there was a show me and my housemates would gather religiously and eagerly around the TV every single week to watch, and it would leave us jaws agape with its storytelling, its mystery, its insane production values, and the vicarious appeal of what looked like it was going to be the definitive superhero television show.
There's no burns.
Tissue regeneration, levitation, teleportation. Is this outside the realm of possibility? Or is man entering a new gateway to evolution?
And then the writer's strike happened, and all the characters in the series started to become related to each other. They started to, become a bit weird in, was he related to this person or was he actually not? People started losing their powers or trading powers to the point where no one knew or gave a fuck what was going on in the series. Interesting footnote on this episode. In my notes here it says herpes ran for 4 seasons rather than Heroes. If only STDs only ran for 4 seasons.
Oh, this is awkward.
Nevertheless, Heroes ran for 4 seasons between September 25th, 2006 through to February 8th, 2010. But if I'm being honest with you, really only the first 2 seasons are worth a damn, and even then I'm being generous because season 1 is great right up until the last 5 minutes of the final episode. Season 2 has great moments and fulfills some of the promise of season 1, but was short and ultimately under-delivered on some of the mystery when they finally did pull back the curtain and let you in on some of the questions that hadn't gone answered in the first series. And while on that basis, 50% of the overall, runtime of the show being garbage means that most people would think that you have to avoid this show like the plague. Let me say that while season 3 and 4 were complete write-offs, and yes, season 2 did have all the hype in the world and ultimately undelivered, the first season was an absolute peach of a television show. It's really hard for me to emphasize just how good it was week to week, but I can break it down like this with a series of points. Number 1, it had excellent characters with great thought placed into how people really would react to gaining the extraordinary powers and abilities most of us merely fantasize about possessing. With Jessica and Matt Parkman being the day-to-day characters who have to deal with the reality of utilizing their powers while also trying to maintain secrecy to handle normal life, normal jobs, family, the stresses of all that comes with that, jobs and bills and all the rest of that crap. Not to mention the kind-hearted protagonist Peter Petrelli and the menacing, dread-inducing serial killer known as Sylar, giving you the A-game, the cinematic blockbuster feel of the show.
Haven't I killed you before?
Didn't take.
You think I'm gonna let you ruin it all? Take all the glory?
That was totally wicked!
Number 2, it had a magnificent narrative, told using innovative idea of having a painter by the name of Isaac Mendes who told the story in panels of paintings, utilizing a power that he had of precognition. He could see the future and he painted it in these really cool comic book style panels, and he predicts an eerie and immediate end to the world as we know it and a mystery surrounding the powers that they gain after an eclipse. He also touches on the Company, who are an insidious group of people who are aware of those with abilities, whose motivations aren't immediately clear in the first season, and how every character ties together in these seemingly unrelated events over time, and how they mesh and overlap, forming this wonderful sense of expectation to see how this story is going to play out. Thirdly, it's got a fantastic score and production that matches any film of its time, giving it clever use of special effects, its clever use of practical effects on top of the special effects, and creative acting that extras and main characters alike use to fully convey the powers, specifically the time travel element where people would literally freeze in place for seconds. They wouldn't frame it and green screen the characters in. They would say to people, just freeze, don't move. And if you look very closely, you can see it from time to time, but otherwise the extras do a magnificent job in creating this illusion.
When a change comes, some species feel the urge to migrate. They call it Sukkenruhe, a pull of the soul to a far-off place, following a scent in the wind, a star in the sky. The ancient message comes, calling the kindred to take flight and gather together. Only then can they hope to survive the cruel season to come.
A few moments later.
Wait! Save the cheerleader! Save the world! Wait, Hero! I don't understand! Hero! Where are you? I don't understand!
And number 4, finally, there's just so much mystery to the show that is slowly revealed in a satisfying and epic way, and the show is never afraid to kill characters to further the plot and emphasize the stakes. And this was way before Walking Dead thought it was cool and original doing it, way before Game of Thrones thought it was cool and original to do it.
What? Why? Why?
And it was clever, it used clever writing that enabled them to allow the same characters to appear in flashbacks that shed more light on the events that you were witnessing, and allows you to continue to bond with dead characters even after they die. The hero symbol that I spent hours doodling as a kid on every folder, every book, every bookcase, everything I ever got my hands on. The solar eclipse, Lindemann and the company, and the cryptic message of save the cheerleader, save the world. All of these aspects keep you hooked right to the last minute of the show, with you hoping more and more as the show goes on that these elements are going to be explained to you, or going to be revealed to you in a satisfying way. But then they dropped the ball. It had a very unsatisfying end to the first series, as given it has a massive anticlimactic final battle between Peter, the main protagonist of the show.
Zaira!
You.
And Sylar, the main antagonist of the show, and it failed to capitalise on the ending in season 2. It meant that fans turned off in droves, which is sad because up until those points, so much care and attention had been put into Tim Crigg's labour of love that inspired me and many of my friends to pursue creative outlets, given its use of music, cinematography and art to tell a great story and give us lovable characters which I adore to this day. In fact, every episode I was inspired to go out and paint something or draw something or pitch something to someone and say, wouldn't it be a great idea if we did this? And to be perfectly honest, this show is probably the seed that was planted that made me one day want to do something creative to this extent. So the Halcyon show in effect was probably inspired to a certain extent by the hero's idea and how it just conveyed this sense of creativity to its audience and the possibility of its creativity to its audience. So I will say this, if you've never seen the original series, go out and buy the DVD, okay? It is totally worth it. You will not regret watching season 1 of Heroes. And as much as you might then have the urge to watch season 2, don't. Leave it at season 1. Yes, the ending isn't as satisfying as you might like it, but then it's kind of everything that's told in that story is closed off as much as it needs to be. You don't need to watch season 2 to get all the answers that you feel you need, because to be honest, once the curtain is revealed, you wish you wouldn't have peeked back there. just do yourself a favour, stick to season 1 and you'll always remember it fondly like I try to, because season 1 is easily a 9 out of 10 series. It really is that good, with only a very few flaws that mean it's not a legendary 10 out of 10. And every season after, season 2 is probably a 6. That's how big of a drop it took. Season 3 and 4, probably 4s. Terrible seasons, just really poor use of the concepts and the characters that were available to them. And just for full disclosure, my favourite hero is Hiro Nakamura. The dude is just absolutely awesome with his little quirks and his Yetta! Oh, you can't not love him and Ando's back and forth. It's hilarious. In any event, thank you very much for watching this episode of Halcyon Blink. Please like, share and subscribe. Go check out the other content creators in the description below. Please leave your comments about other Halcyon Blinks you'd like to see or ideas for other shows you'd like to see. I'm always reading my comments and responding, so please feel free to leave your suggestions there. Thank you very much for watching again. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.